So welcome, and we are starting the last chapter now. So this is page 43. The chapter is called oneness. Yeah, interesting topic. So we are going to start with this. Now here in the heading, Master says oneness, and down below there is the text which says serenity is the highest form of peace. Serenity means to be serene, to be calm. So calmness is the highest form, or it's more to do with inner calmness than outer calmness. So inner calmness is the highest form of peace. That's what Master is saying. Now, how is this related to oneness? We can understand calmness and peace and stillness and so on. But how is it related to oneness? You see, the experience of oneness is not possible until our, bodies. When I say bodies, it includes all the bodies, the physical and emotional and mental and so on. So only when these bodies are silent, when they are still, when they are at peace, only then the experience of oneness is possible. Because only then our consciousness is rising from our day to day mundane life and going into the higher levels where the higher soul resides. That is where we are able to unite with the higher soul. Yeah. So that is what when we are saying oneness here, we are meaning oneness with me, the incarnated soul, and oneness with the higher soul. Then oneness with me and oneness with God. Oneness with me, oneness with the higher soul, with the God, and with all of us. That would be the highest form of or highest level of oneness. Anyway, so if you see, if you have a radio set and you have tuned into lower frequencies, how do you catch the higher frequencies? Not possible. So you have to leave the lower frequencies and you will have a period of silence, and then you can tune into the higher frequencies. Something like that. What Rishi Patanjali, he defines yoga as the nirodha of the chitta vritti. So he says yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So what is yoga? Yoga is when all vibrations in the mind are stilled, when they are blocked, when they are stopped. Yeah. And we will discuss, this will come up in later sutras also. We'll keep discussing it. Okay, let's change the page, come to page 45, sutra number 1. The key to oneness means giving up wrong ideas and enslavement to lower emotions. You cannot achieve oneness with your higher soul without character building. So, wrong ideas, like for example, the most important wrong idea to give up is, who are you? Are you the body? Why are you born? Is it just to have fun and to grow rich and so on? What is the purpose of life? So, the wrong ideas is when we have the wrong identification of the self, when we are not clear or not sure, or we follow the wrong purpose of life. Those are, the worst sort of wrong ideas. And enslavement to lower emotions, where, some people are prone to anger and some to fear and some to greed and some to this and some to that. So, that is what Master refers to as enslavement by the lower emotions. You are your lower emotions. They are determining you, they are controlling you. So, now, unless we give up the wrong ideas and unless we give up the enslavement to lower emotions, there is no way that the lock to the door of achieving oneness will be opened. And for that, again, in the second line, Master says, without character building, how will we gain control of the lower emotions and thoughts? Because that is what character building is, gaining control over our lower emotions and lower thoughts. And I think in that we need to be very grateful to Master Choa that he has given us systematic methods and techniques for character development. I think one of the rare gurus I have seen who gives us methods, ways to improve our character. I'm sure you are aware of them. For example, inner reflection, firm resolution, which we have learned in basic pranic healing itself. is one of the key ways to work on our character to make it better. Yeah. And of course, when you come to the Aratic, then the blue triangle in psychotherapy class, you learn to, do psychotherapy. So many ways he has given. So we have to be grateful. And the Mahasamadhi day is coming up. So I hope you will participate at wherever you are and in your foundation's activities or with the World Pranic Healing activities. And it's a time to remember the Guru, to pay homage to the Guru, to show our respect to the Guru. Yeah, because we've got so much from him. By loving a person intensely and recognizing the divinity, you achieve a certain degree of oneness. You see, we are seeing different ways to achieve oneness. In the on the heading page, we looked at inner peace, how inner peace is important. Then we saw, giving up wrong ideas, giving up enslavement to lower emotions. That is the way. Now, Master is giving us yet another way: pure and strong, unadulterated, pure love. And now what is the meaning of pure love? Purity in love means you love the person as a divine being. That is what we do in the in that prayer when we do namaste. I, the soul, salute the divinity in you, or the divine in me salutes the divine in you. When we are able to genuinely, deeply have this emotion, or this thought, or this realization every time we meet somebody, or with specific person, maybe, that this person is divine like me. That is where then we are able to have spiritual progress. We are able to attain a certain degree of oneness, maybe with the other person. But Master has talked about it, that this pure love, even if it is with one person, it sets the stage for achieving oneness with the entire world. Heaven is not here or there or anywhere. It is within you. This means that heaven is a higher state of consciousness, or the gateway to heaven is within you. By meditating on the crown chakra or the blue pearl, one can experience heaven while still having a physical body. Why the last line? While still having a physical body? Because generally it is believed that heaven is only attained when you die. When the body dies, the soul can go into heaven. That is the general understanding. So what Master is saying is, no, this is just a higher state of consciousness inside us. In this line, heaven is not here, nor there, nor anywhere, it is within you. This, I think, is taken from the Bible. So it is inside of me. This possible experience of heaven is inside of me. It's a state of consciousness. Essentially, mostly our consciousness is stuck on the physical, emotional, mental planes. But when we are able to go higher to the Buddhic plane, that is where we are able to have that experience of oneness, that experience of pure bliss, of stillness and peace. And you are able to feel a high degree of oneness with other people. You've heard stories about the Shirdi Sai Baba, where he told the woman that when you fed the dog, you fed me. Because he had oneness, that experience of oneness, even with the stray dog. Yeah. And Master is talking about the by meditating on the crown chakra or the blue pearl. So he's giving us a method. How can you have this experience of oneness? Or how can you experience heaven? Now, what is the blue pearl? If you have done the soul class and of course Aratic yoga, then I'm sure you know fully well. Essentially, it's a or if you are aware of the pillars of light and the permanent seat, so it is the permanent mental seat. It is located in the center of the head. If you know where the pineal gland is, that is where the blue pearl is related. And the importance of the blue pearl is it gives us direct access to the higher soul. For more, I think if you want to know more about it, I suggest you read the Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul book or the book on Om Mani Padme Hum. Yeah, these books have great explanations and details about this blue pearl. In the Indian system, it is not discussed so much, but have you noticed that many of the deities, their bodies are shown to be blue? So there is a connection. Blue pearl versus blue bodies. Yeah. All right, let's go on. You can achieve illumination by looking at a flower. By looking at nature, you can become one with all. थोड़ा देखिए, this is a slightly mystical sutra. But to understand this in more detail, you need to go back to the existence of God is self-evident book. There, Master has in his spiritual thesis, it begins with his saying why he believes that the existence of God is self-evident. And somewhere there in that, he talks about, a flower is made from just four basic elements. But you give scientists, trillions of dollars and those four elements, they cannot create the flower. So because the infinite knowledge, wisdom, power, ability of God is what creates all these things. So there, Master says, I'm quoting directly from Existence of God is self-evident. Nature is God's factory. To see nature is to see the creation of God. Yeah, think about it. Nature is God's factory. To see nature is to see the creation of God. So, in a sense, what he's telling us is that if you look closely and with full awareness at just nature, you will be able to see the hand of God and you will be able to experience oneness with God. And of course, with here, of course, he's saying you can become one with all. All right, let's go on. If you can desire illumination as much as you desire air, you will achieve it. There is this sutra, there is a little background story. So there is this story of a young person who is very interested in spiritual progress. Now he is trying to find the right guru. Now as he is walking down a path, the path is running next to a river, and he spots a Guruji who is sitting under a tree which is near the bilkul at the edge of the water and land. So there is the tree, and this under the tree, this Guruji is sitting. So this boy approaches the Guruji and says, Guruji, how can I quickly attain enlightenment? Enlightenment, ultimate goal, yoga, um, so many nirvana, so all these words we use, to attain illumination. How can I attain that? So, so the Guruji takes his neck and puts it inside the water and holds him down. Can you understand? He pulls him down by the neck and puts his face underwater and holds him down underwater. And he holds him down for a long time and then he lets go. So this boy, he he's splashing water and he's gasping for breath, because he couldn't breathe when his face was inside the water. So the Guruji asks him, at the time your head was underwater, what did you crave for? So what did you desire? So he says, oh, I desired air. So the Guruji says, if you will desire spiritual progress with the same intensity that you desired air when your head was underwater, then in this lifetime it is possible for you. So that is the background to this sutra. If you desire illumination as much as you desire, so this Guruji is telling that boy that with that same intensity, if you will do your practices, if you will pursue spiritual development, then yes, you will attain the goal. No problem. One pointedness alone is an obstacle to illumination. Prolonged awareness is also required. Now, this is an important thing to understand. You see, there is a difference between concentration, where you focus all your attention, all your mental energy on one object, versus awareness, which is more diffused, which is more gentle. There is no force applied there. In a sense, you can say that concentration is a yang activity and awareness is kind of like a yin activity. When you concentrate, you can only concentrate on one thing at a time, correct? But you can be aware of many things at one time. Yeah. So now meditation, now this master has explained very well and in great detail in the achieving oneness. Pardon me. Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul book. My suggestion is please do read that. And he uses the Sanskrit terms dharana. Dharana is concentration and dhyan is extended awareness. So this is very important to understand, and this is also very important to implement in our meditation practice. Because there is a time for dharana or concentration, there is a time for dhyana or meditation or awareness. So my request is please to read up on this in the other books of Master Choa, especially the Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul, and do try to put it into practice. Yeah. I'm seeing a question. Can that love be of mother and child, which is unconditional, selfless? Yes, I think the nearest, I probably this question is with reference to the pure love that we were talking about and the experience of oneness through love. So, yes, I would agree. I think the love of mother and child are probably the best example, or where these things come the where that oneness can be experienced to the one of the highest levels. Okay, page 46 from the top. Nirvana is absolute tranquility. It is the kingdom of heaven within you. Although it is sometimes called the other shore, nirvana is within you. I think the important thing to understand here is that this, what we earlier referred to as heaven, or the experience of heaven, or like here's the word here being used is nirvana. Now, nirvana, actually the word itself means cessation of all passions, or of all emotional and mental activity. And here, of course, master is using the word tranquility. Tranquility means complete calmness, complete stillness. When so if you look at a lake, there is no breeze. The lake water is likely to be absolutely still. So that is tranquil water. And then the breeze starts, or some boat is going here and there. Then you will see that the water is no longer tranquil and there is movement in that. Yeah. Now we've discussed this before. Why why we say it is within us, because it is a state of consciousness. When consciousness is able to rise up, and we attain the state of yoga or union with the higher soul, that is where the experience of peace, stillness, and bliss is there. And why does everybody say that you will experience this? Because that is the nature of the higher soul. When we connect, we have a strong connection to the higher soul. That energy downpours or pours down, and we are able to experience that. We, in this case, becomes the incarnated soul. And that is why master is saying it is inside, it is not outside. There is nothing outside that helps you attain nirvana. It is within us. All right, let's read the next three sutras together. Awareness helps you to listen to the subtle voice, the whisper of your higher soul. You become aware of your Buddha nature, your soul. Awareness is necessary for spiritual evolution. To have inner awareness, one must practice self honesty and detachment. Listening is connected with awareness. More or less, they're saying, or they're what they're talking about, these three sutras, is interconnected. So I thought we can discuss them together. So, essentially here, Master is talking about different aspects of awareness. So this inner awareness that Master is talking about, or this awareness that Master is talking about, for this inner peace and stillness is very, very important. And for that, you see, one has to, this is an acquired practice that you have to be able to switch off from the external. Because if you don't switch off from the external, then it is difficult to turn your consciousness inwards. Otherwise it has a tendency to flow outwards. In the Gita and in many scriptures they talk about the senses being like wild horses, or things like that. It's because they tend to flow outwards. That is their nature. We, the soul, has to come in control and be able to turn attention inwards. And for that, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they call it pratyahar. It's a practice. You have to learn to do it. You have to learn to turn your attention, your consciousness, your awareness inwards. And for that, we have to learn to switch off the outside. So I keep, advising people, do some of your practices in slightly noisy environments so that you can switch off. Whatever things are happening around you, maybe people are talking this, that, and so on, but you are able to still your mind, you are able to focus your mind, you are able to say, okay, I will keep chanting Om Namo Rama Om, or some mantra, and it goes on regardless of what people are doing around you. That, I think, is an, if you are serious about spiritual progress, that's an important thing to practice. Yeah. And the other thing that is required is, the master talks about self honesty and detachment. We have to be objective, because self awareness, if you are fooling yourself, or you're living in delusion about your own self, it's not going to help. So, first of all, accurate perception applied to myself. But what is the virtue that helps me attain that? Honesty. Yeah. So that gives me the karmic entitlement to have accurate perception, whether towards myself or towards others. Secondly, detachment. If we have a tendency to, attach to things, people, emotions, and so on very easily, very strongly, that will not help. It will prevent us from this awareness, from this inner peace, this inner stillness, and so on. And one of the ways to develop that is listening. Listening can be an active skill or a passive skill. So, proper listening, good listening, there is a difference between just listening and listening well. So, when you practice listening well, that again is also connected with awareness. That is what Master is telling us. All right, we can do more sutras. To achieve calmness and stillness, you must activate that heart. You must activate the heart. Of course, when Master says heart, he means the heart chakra, not the physical heart. This is a very, very important secret that Master has revealed here. That, there is a great role of heart chakra in achieving calmness and stillness. And that is the reason why the bhakti yogis, the yogis who are on the path of bhakti, devotion and so on, they are able to experience, they may be chanting and shout loudly, they may be doing japa loudly and so on, mantra chanting or chanting, songs of prayers and so on. But they are, on the inside, they are able to experience high degree of calmness and stillness because they are doing this out of great love for the Ishwar. And when they do that, that helps them. Yeah, Mirabai, great example. Mirabai is an excellent example. Yeah. Okay. Arhatic Dhyan is the practice of prolonged awareness to increase sensitivity. Prolonged awareness enables you to register spiritual experiences. I hope you are familiar with Arhatic Dhyan. This is one of the meditations that is taught, or it's a meditation practice taught in Arhatic Yoga. So, again, reminder, if you haven't done Arhatic Yoga, please try to learn it as soon as possible. And if you have learned it, please practice it. So Arhatic Dhyan, this is essentially what it is. I think, I'm told, I haven't done Vipassana myself, but I'm told it's the sort of the essence of what is taught in Vipassana. Again, don't have any direct experience, so I can't say, but many people have told me. So it is the practice of prolonged awareness. And as you practice it, your sensitivity increases. You see, one deep secret of sensitivity. If you are sitting in a noisy, very, very loud and noisy environment, can you be sensitive to very small sounds or very light sounds? Difficult. If you are in a silent place, then you will register even small sounds. Yes, am I right or am I right? So that is what happens as you practice Arhatic Dhyan. Excuse me. When you practice Aratic Dhyan, the practice itself increases your sensitivity. It increases, it involves prolonged awareness and it increases your sensitivity. So you are able to register, these spiritual experiences can be very subtle. You understand? Subtle? बहुत जहीन हो सकते हैं तो इनको you in a noisy environment not possible to experience them. Okay, let's do one more sutra. Let's go to the next page. Self-realization comes when you focus on doing the steps. Now, this sutra, I couldn't understand the context. Obviously, Master, all the sutras, how they were recorded. Master Choa used to be on stage doing, different programs, and he would be talking about things, and that all that was recorded. It was put down into, transcribed, and then compiled, categorized, compiled, and so on. And then these books have come to us. Now, here I am guessing from the next sutra that probably this is the steps of our meditation practice. When he's saying self realization comes when you focus on doing the steps. Now, what steps? No clue otherwise, except the next sutra is talking about meditation. So I'm guessing that these are the steps of our practice, of our spiritual practice, of what we call sadhana. If you are an arahatic practitioner, then you have a well specified practice which you're supposed to do, or which I hope you're doing. So I think that is what Master is saying, that when you do the steps properly and you keep doing them, and then the self realization will come. So it's I think a good place to stop for